welcome to another video, guys. I'm sitting here in my office and a lot of this stuff around me is things that I have made myself. So me and my wife decided to start a company called Walt's Workshop, and it's just really fun Disney themed stuff. And we're actually running a special right now. It's only $10 for the signs that you're looking at. And today, Walt's Workshop is sponsoring this episode. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe as well as like. We have some giveaways coming. Now let's jump right into the video. As Disney fans, we all remember hearing about Jeff Wrights. He was the guy who almost went to Disney for 3,000 days straight. So he's the world record, or the Guinness Book of World Records holder for the most consecutive days going to Disneyland. And today, he actually shared tips for going to the park. So I thought this was pretty interesting because there's literally no one that goes to Disney more than him. And 8 years of going to Disney, I think he knows what he's talking about. So, well, let's just start with some backstory because it's kind of interesting, and then we'll get to the rest of it. So how did you get started? He said Disneyland and Walt Disney World announced at the start of 2012 that for the first time ever, both resorts were going to stay open 24 hours on Leap Day, February 29th, for what was dubbed One More Disney Day. January 1st, I was at the park with some friends and we were joking around that how could it be an extra day if you don't use the others, he said. They decided to truly make it an extra day by trying to visit Disneyland every day that year. A couple of us were unemployed, but we had the annual passes that had been given to us as gifts for the birthday, Christmas, so on and so forth. So we decided to go for the challenge and use it as a positive. It forced you to get out of bed instead of moping about being out of work at the time. So they saw it as an opportunity to get some exercise, meet others, and you just never know who you're going to walk into in the lines and just walking around. And so you're always working on your networking and communication skills, which is kind of cool. He didn't have a job, so he's sitting there like, you know what? I'm going to use this as something to get me out the house and, you know, hone in on my communication skills. So they'd hang out for a few hours, share some laughs, maybe a sandwich they brought into the park, and then return to job hunting. He said, you can't help but go and share a few smiles while you're there, and so it helped cheer us up. Personally, the minute I hear the music in the Esplanade, man, all my troubles melt away for that short little time, and I'm good to go. So he was a veteran. He worked several temporary jobs before landing a permanent position at the VA hospital in Long Beach in September 2012. And working full-time didn't stop his Disney trips though. They asked him, how did you fit this in your schedule? He said, it actually became a very normal thing for me. I'd get up, drive 15 miles to work, spend 8 hours there. Then I'd drive 15 miles to the park, have my fun, averaging about 3 to 5 days a day there. The minimum he'd like to spend there was an hour, even if he had other plans on his plate. He said, not only was I going to Disneyland, but there were times when I'd hit Disneyland and then I'd go to the San Diego Zoo, SeaWorld, Knott's Berry Farm, or even go to Disneyland and then Magic Mountain, or go out to Palm Springs and go hiking up on the tramway. He said once he even spent the day scuba diving in the Channel or Chanel Islands and still made it to Disneyland that night. I wonder if he was like intently trying to hit that goal of getting to Disneyland. Not too sure every day. I don't know if he was trying to set the record, or I don't know if it was just something that became a part of his routine and he wasn't thinking about it anymore. But basically he said he would sometimes park hop, but he always made it to the Disneyland park itself. It was never about spending the entire day there, he said. It's just about making a visit. What kept you going? The number just kept evolving over time, he said. The other person stopped after 2 years and I was still having fun with it, so I just decided to keep going at it. He wasn't sure how long he'd keep going, then 5 years in, hit day 2000, and then he just kept going. I can't even imagine that. I have so many plans all the time, and I get distracted and sidetracked from things that I literally can't imagine just like every day stepping in for at least an hour. Like I would want to do it. I just don't even know if that's possible just with life, but sounds like maybe he wasn't married or isn't married, so I'm not too sure. He said a lot of times I played it by ear. If I was meeting people, I was like, hey, what do you want to do? If there was something he missed one day, he could always go back the next. He knows guests with limited time don't have that luxury and need to get their money's worth. But by doing that, they also have a tendency that they can miss out on a lot of magic, he said. Part of the experience, I think, is experiencing everything that's there, and that means paying attention to the area that you're walking through. He loves slowing down and absorbing all the details Imagineers put into the park, like hidden Mickeys and seeing different lands every day. He also enjoyed limited time offerings and events like Disney California Adventures Food and Wine, which is currently underway. He said there's always special things going on. Over the years, he saw a number of changes at Disneyland. Galaxy's Edge took a big chunk of one of our Love Vacations one of our loved locations away from us. I used to always love going to Big Thunder Ranch and the Big Thunder Ranch barbecue. Interesting, because I've never been there. It's cool because while you're walking into Galaxy's Edge, you actually see that particular area, and they have like a little wagon there to pay homage to it, but I never had the chance to actually eat there, which sucks. He still has many fond memories and laughs and meals shared there, but he understood that they were making way for new magic. When I was parking in the parking structure every day, I could look over the rails and watch as construction was building. He said, and I'm seeing things like, okay, what is that? I can't figure it out. Then come to realize what I was actually looking at was 2 life-size AT-ATs. I got to actually see them as they were built from the inside out. Really cool. I wish he would have took pictures and documented this stuff. He wound up loving Galaxy's Edge and visited nearly daily, if only to walk through. Why did he stop? As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I think we figured it out. Wrights didn't stop going to Disneyland on his own accord. He had to stop when the park shut down for the pandemic on March 13th, 2020. At that time, everyone thought, oh, it's 3 weeks, it's nothing, we'll be able to knock this out, he recalled. But to me, this was it. Once the park closed, it was no longer consecutive, so to me, that was the end of it. He said he had already taken the following Wednesday off because it would have marked his 3,000th consecutive day. So he was ready to celebrate. He didn't know if he would have kept going after that, but he knew he would have major FOMO seeing others visit without him. COVID helped me out in that respect because since it closed, it cut everyone off. He said everybody in the world had to go cold turkey, and therefore I wasn't missing anything. In the end, he made it 2,995 days, and he still hasn't been back. Part of the reason he said he's not back is because the cost of it, prices have risen, as well as he does not care for the park reservation system. And I think we're all with him. We all hate that. And now that he's, now that Disney has reopened, he said he's also changed his own spending habits, and he started getting to other hobbies and redirecting his funds. So let's go ahead and skip down. He said, my number 1 tip that I give is to bring a good sized dose of patience. I think we could all use that. Definitely patience, 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 especially because you have to realize a lot of people don't get to go there every day like we do. And they're trying to get the best out of the trip, and I don't think people are always trying to directly be rude to you, but it does happen. They're trying to get the best for their money. So you know what? We can always experience things another day. Doesn't mean that people should act that way, but let's just take a little extra patience with us. He said you're going to be around thousands of people, so you want to make sure you're ready for it. To help prepare, his second tip is to download the app. And not only are you going to find maps to know where your restrooms and things like that are, it's also going to give you the wait times for different attractions and show times. And then you're also going to be able to order food before going up instead of waiting in line, which is a huge thing. His other top tip is to bring a portable power bank for smartphones and layers for the weather. We actually have the little power banks that are in the park. Those things are awesome. $30, but unlimited free charging. He said if there's a chance you're going to be there all day and night, be prepared. Bring a windbreaker, sweatshirt, or something heavier. He said he usually wore his trademark hat with a strap on it so it wouldn't fly away, hiking boots, or a good pair of tennis shoes. It's whatever feels comfortable to you. So to add on to that, guys, just go there with an open mind. Oh, you know what? Get a locker. For $5, you can get a mid-size locker. For $8, you can get a way bigger locker. Use it. If you're going to be there all day, take stuff that you need but don't want to necessarily carry all day and put it in there, and make it a point to get down on Main Street or Buena Vista Street if you're in DCA and just switch out what you need. It makes life so much easier. And with that, I appreciate you guys watching. I actually have to take off to my son's basketball meeting. But yeah, get used to this, guys. This is coming every single day, maybe sometimes twice a day. I'm hitting this hard. And if you enjoyed it, please give us a thumbs up. And if you want to support, we don't ask you to go to Patreon and give us money like that. Just shop from our shop. Get something from us that's handmade on this machine right here. And yeah, appreciate your time, guys. We will see you on the next one.